So we're back for round 5 and at Goodwood still, and obviously it's the finishing order from the first race that will set the grid for this second race. So why not just get straight into it? And it looks like a Toyota 1-2, and it was, with Nathan stealing the race on the last corner. So Nathan's on pole from Lewis, Liam, Adam, Ben and Sean in the other Subaru, and then Andrew, Rob, Jeff, Paul beating his teammate Will, and then it was Nick, Brian and Leon at the back, unsurprisingly. He's drunk. So, nice view. And then, right, Nathan on pole, and this time will he stuff it and jump the start. The flag went down and he reacted to the flag, but when the flag goes down, it's normally like a second or two delay. So let's see if he actually reacts to the lights. This time the flag goes down, and this time he does it right. Nathan away like a scolded cat. Ben trying to come through with the four-wheel drive advantage, but can't. Adam's down the inside on the grass to take third, fourth. Now he's hit Lewis as well, so a bit of a rough start from Adam. He's passing people on the grass and hitting people, so a bit stupid. More sideways action, that looked like Nick. And then Leon trying to get down the inside of people as well. And there is Nick, he's got a penalty for his trouble. Don't know why he got a penalty for going on the grass, being sideways, but never mind. At the back again is Jeff. The front wheel drive struggles to get it off the line. When it gets going, it's fast. And there's Nathan, but getting a bit of a tap from Lewis there in the slow section. But Liam's third, Ben is back up to fourth, so he's retaken Adam, probably in the way that Adam overtook him. And up into fourth place, fifth for Adam, sixth for, looks like it's going to be Sean. Sean with a terrible start, had nowhere to go with his four-wheel drive advantage, and actually dropped back at the first corner, got hung out to dry a little bit. But he looks like he's trying to pass Rob, and Rob's got some straight line speed in that Hyundai. So into this tricky last section they go, and it is still a Toyota 1-2, and it's Nathan that leads this time ahead of Lewis. Liam and Ben's looking like he's having a look at Liam there, but not quite wide there from, was that Nick? Looked like it. Into the first corner they go again, and looks like Liam's got a massive run on Nathan. Nathan's actually dropped back to third, so he's lost the lead. Nathan must have gone off at the last corner, which we didn't see. Didn't show it either, so he must have made a huge mistake. And Adam was already flashing his lights, trying to get back past Ben. Looks down the inside, but Ben will just throw it in and not care. There you go. Might hang him out wide a bit for this first bit and then switch back to the second complex, kicking up the dust. But nope, they stay in the same order, and a bit wide there from, is that Paul? Yeah, Paul again, the first of the REC cars, doing a great job. Remember, Will won a race last week. Now Nathan's trying to undo the damage, and he's trying to get back up the inside of Liam. And thundering down the straight. Liam moaning that his car wasn't that great in the earlier conditions, but he still got a good podium out of it. Let's see how he does in the even warmer conditions of the middle of the day. What a great view that is, as it all thunder through. And Liam's lost it. He's lost the car, and he's flashing down the order. We're waiting to see where he finishes up. He's back on the track in 8th place by the looks of it. Just ahead of, I think it was Will. It is. Will's trying to get past him now, and Will's pointlessly knocking him on the straight. Talked about that last week. And now Andrew's trying to buy into it as well down the inside, but Liam holds the position. But he'll be kicking himself. He must have got like an auto spin off that curb. Meanwhile, Sean's on the attack, and it looks like he's down the inside. Eventually a Rob. Looks like he's finally got that move done. Ben, meanwhile, is attacking the leaders. He's all over the back of Nathan. Ben's finally back on form, and meanwhile I think Rob tried to go around the outside and hang it out to dry, but the only one that got hung out to dry was Rob. He's all over the grass, now he's rejoining the track in a safe way, but that's cost him a lot of time. He's down to 12th, he was 5th, so terrible from Rob. But I think he tried to hang it around the outside of Sean, and well, that's never going to work. In touring cars you're just going to get hung out and probably run to the outside of the track in a typical touring car move, but I think that's probably what happened there. But meanwhile, the leaders are the two Toyotas, and they're not breaking away, which is a great sight. Ben and Shorto's off at Shorto corner at last. We've been waiting for that all night, and it's finally happened. Gets back on just in front of Paul, who's probably wondering what the hell's going on. Did sign up for this. Liam's 7th, but he can't break away from Will, who's 8th. Will's hanging on to him, and Nick's in there as well, as are the two Renaults of Jeff and Andrew. Leon's somehow still going. And it's Brian at the back, who's just not having a great night. But Lewis leads from Nathan. And somewhere back there is Ben. Oh, Ben's gone backwards. Ben's now behind Adam, so a mistake from Ben again. And it's just going to be one of those nights, I think. And mistakes happen all the time. Those Toyotas are really good through that section. Now, can Adam get involved in this? The championship leader coming into this round, but wasn't really up there in the first race, and kind of picked off a few positions at the end. Can he get involved in this fight at the front with the power of that Mustang? Surely he can make some sort of dent down the straight. But it is Lewis ahead of Nathan. Adam third. Fourth is Ben. Fifth is Sean, his teammate, who's finally recovered from that scary moment at Sean O'Connor, and he's back on the back of the pack. Paul doing an excellent job in sixth, ahead of Liam, who's trying to break away from that group, and now Nick's just behind Liam. So there's Paul doing a fantastic debut. Then it's Liam, Nick, Will, Andrew and Jeff all in a line. And then the battle for the minor placings, which is Rob, who's recovering from that incident with Sean earlier. And meanwhile, look at the battle for third. If they could actually work together, they could probably catch these guys, but they're not. Lewis still leading there, and he's doing a pretty good defensive job. Probably taking things a bit more seriously than did in the first race, which you probably thought Nathan wouldn't try and overtake him. He was completely wrong about that. Adam with the Subaru twins just behind him. The Texaco cars look mean, look aggressive. Then number red 5, like a tribute to one of his heroes, Nigel Mansell. And Sean's 55 because he's just lazy. He just said, yeah, whatever. Nathan now completely alongside his teammate as they come flying down the straight. Now they don't want to mess this up too much. If they both go off, that's going to cost them huge points. And Toyota are a little bit down in the teams championship before this rounds, or before these rounds. Having only Evan Lewis scoring points in the first round. And the reserve drivers have been canned because it's just too complicated and annoying. So basically, if you don't turn up, you don't score points from now on. So we've got 2 Subarus up there, we've got 2 Toyotas, and we've got a lone Ford Mustang. Ash couldn't make the first 2 races. We'll see him for the third race. Ash had work, unfortunately. The guy that produces all these beautiful liveries does a great job for SBR. And like I say, I've said this many times, but he's highly appreciated within the league, not just for his graphics but for his driving. And round the outside goes Nathan, and that's going to be done. Surely there's contact between them, and then a little bit more. Lewis tapping the back of his own teammate. That boy. Into the back corner, the farthest corner away from the track. So heading now back home towards the start finish straight. Paul's still fine, doing a fine job in 6th. He's just off the back of these guys, so if they carry on battling, he might get back involved in it. Jeff again doing a great job in 9th. He wants to try and beat his teammate after his teammate beat him in the first race. And there's Leon at the back, but can't expect much from him today, unfortunately. Jack Daniels got the better of him. Nathan though into the lead ahead of Lewis, and is that the end of that? He had some serious pace in the first race. I mean, look at the gap he closed within a couple laps, but I just don't think Lewis thought that Nathan would attack him, and we saw him weaving down the straight in a joking manner, but Nathan's like, yeah, I want to win. So the Alan Mann liveried Ford cars are leading ahead of the Rapid Fit Ford car, and the 2 Subarus going at it. Let's see how they work together, and I think they're doing a bit of bump drafting. I think Sean's knocking Ben along to try and catch the group in front. Ben having a steering issue that he's had for a few rounds now, and just doesn't feel comfortable in these cars anymore. Tried it on another game during the week and actually won the race, so obviously it's not him. There's something not quite right with his steering wheel on, and someone else's steering wheel that's not quite right. His wheel, he's jumping across the grass in a Dukes of Hazzard kind of way. But Ben's pace has gradually dropped as the issues got worse, but let's just see if he can keep going in this race. He's doing pretty well at the minute, and in fact he's passed Adam up to 3rd place, so doing very well at the minute. So he's passed Adam, and now can he get after those Toyotas? Problem is, the Mustang will try and mince him down here. Sean's trying to help, but there's not a lot he can do against the power of that Mustang, and look at the power of it. It's already up and alongside the Subaru, but can't do it there. We won't get around the outside, and this is just letting the Toyotas go away. These guys had the pace to run with those Toyotas today, no doubt about it, but they're fighting each other and they're just gapping them. through this fast section at the back at Fordwater, and then we work our way through the twisty section and pretty much the only left-hander on the track, which is why it is very tricky because the car's not ready for it, and wide from Ben but just holding the place. They'll just straighten up along here. Now Sean's looking for an outside run, and Adam thinks about the inside but not really doing. Now onto his favourite part, which is basically foot through the floor and who's got the horses. And meanwhile this is not finished at the front. These guys are knocking 10 balls out of each other, and Lewis looking for an inside run, and these two side by side as well again, and it's Adam round the outside. Ben tries to hold on but he breaks too late and goes off at Sean O'Connor. Adam's a bit wide as well, comes back on in front of Ben, so Ben drops 2 positions and he just couldn't get the car stopped. Again, another issue that he seems to have, which is the brakes don't seem to react at the same every lap, and just struggling with this game, or this track, this car, this whatever. But yep, sure if he can get it sorted he'll be back on the pace very soon. It's Nathan now that leads, and he's not dropping Lewis, which is a surprise to me. They're setting fastest sectors as they go, but Lewis just sitting in behind his teammate at the moment. And there we go through the back of the track, and there's Ben. His steering's failed. It's finally failed. It's given up. Look, he's not turning at all. He's got no braking, no steering, and everything that he's been saying over the last few weeks has come to fruition in a massive accident. And that car will be pretty broken, and there's still no steering. The car's not reacting at all, and now eventually, finally, it starts working. Well, I think that proves the point. There is an issue, and that's dropped him all the way down to 11th place when he was fighting for 3rd. He'll be devastated with that because he was having a good run. But let's open up the pack, and it's given Nathan a big lead. And Lewis a big lead, and there's 3rd Adam, 4th Sean went off as well. Sean was distracted by that and went off at the same corner, but didn't have a steering fault like Ben there. Meanwhile 5th is Paul, doing a fantastic job, but Liam has caught him and got away from that group. Liam, you suspect, is a bit quicker and will probably find a way through, but and there's Robin in 10th place, not having as good a race as last time. Ben with a broken steering in 11th, and there's a yellow flag. That means someone spun, and I would hazard a guess it's Leon. It is. Don't drink and drive, kids. But he still gets away just ahead of Brian. Brian actually pitting, so Brian must have damage. Yep, he's not changing tyres, so obviously damage there. Meanwhile at the front, Lewis leads. He's ahead of Nathan, so something's happened. Nathan must have made a mistake. So this ever-changing race has changed again, and Nathan down the inside instantly can't do it. Lewis will cut him up, and he does, and rightly so. What curb's evil? We saw Liam lose it there, but Lewis now on the ragged edge trying to get revenge on his teammate for the last lap past. Meanwhile Sean's caught back up to Adam. He's probably faster over the lap, but he just can't overtake because of the straights. Just watch this Mustang walk away from that Subaru down the straight. And there's Liam. He's already passed Paul, so yeah, as predicted, Paul in 6th. He'll be pleased with that. His teammates go on grass tracking, fighting the REC, fighting the shredded wheat cars. Ben in 11th, but just trying to bring it home now. Look at the damage on the front end of that car. And there's Nick, not having a stellar race. Brian having a less than stellar race. Need to stop mentioning stellar. Ugh, make me feel sick. But Lewis still ahead of Nathan, and they finally seem to be working together a little bit to get a gap, and now they got a massive gap over the Subaru Ford battle behind them. And here's that battle now, Sean all over the back of Adam, but really it's tough to get past, and we're looking back now from Adam, and we'll just see, you can see that not even in the slipstream is that Subaru closing, so he's got to do it all on the brakes, and he has a go around the outside, and Cameron's got drunk, and there they go, there's the car. And a cut back from Sean, but that's not going to work. Now through the chicane, this is where the Subaru's pretty good, and you can see he gets a good run through there, but the Mustang just plants the foot and off he goes. Even in the slipstream, the Subaru's not closing. Into turn 1, it's really fast right-hander on the ragged edge, and again the Subaru's pretty good through. You can see he's gaining. He's got a massive run, and it's still not enough. Going to look around the outside of Ford Water, but that's not going to happen. And it doesn't, so eventually the speed kicks in and he can't get the run on him. It's going to have to be in these slower corners that he does it. Still, it's Lewis from Nathan, and this battle looks like it's going to rage until the flag. Adam has protected the inside. Sean will try and get an overlap. It looks like he might have one, but he still won't be able to get past, because in a drag race he's got no chance. I'm sure Adam will be able to get the overlap, and there you go. That's just brutal horsepower, unfortunately. And around the outside, Sean tries again, but he's off again at Sean O'Connor, and that's the hat trick. And that might be the end of third place with 1 lap to go. Liam well clear. Paul doing some drifting. Nice. And his teammate's gone off at Sean O'Connor, and that's going to allow Jeff through into 7th place. Jeff in 7th place would be over the moon with that, after not actually thinking that he wasn't going to be here tonight. He's already had a pretty good 9th place in the first race, and his teammate's in 9th in this race. So Andrew keeping up his good form, just ahead of Rob. Rob's still on a comeback. Ben in 11th, but yeah, we know why. 12th is 12th is Nick, who's just not really shown up tonight, unfortunately. Way better than that is Nick. And this looks like it's over now. It looks like Lewis has got the measure now of Nathan as they head down the back straight. He's got a good lead, and I don't think Nathan can come back from that. It looks like he's got a bit of understeer, Nathan. So we come into that shot, and in the background it looks like Adam's got third sewn up as well. So yeah, in the end, looks like Lewis is going to get his revenge. Brian staying out the way. Ooh, Lewis is wide though. He's gone off the track and back on at Sean O'Connor, and he just stays in front. And Nathan attacks, trying to push his teammate off. It looked like then actually hits the flowers as well. So there is definitely no team orders in the Toyota team. First for Lewis, second for Nathan, but no team orders. Third, and where has Adam gone? Third for Sean. Adam was fourth. Fourth is now Liam. Let's see if he comes through. Fifth for Paul. Brilliant result for Paul. Well done. Sixth looks like Jeff, and he'll be over the moon with that. Seventh is Will. So Will doing a great job in the other RAC car. Good points for them. Eighth again for Andrew. Ninth for Rob. 10th for Ben. Disappointing. 11th for Nick, and word's coming through now that Adam disconnected on the last lap at the top corner. I saw him at the top corner, but then he must have disconnected there. So disaster for Adam, and he'll score no points, unfortunately. You have to cross the line. 11th then for Nick, 12th for Leon, and 13th for Brian. Wow, what a finish to the race. Join us for race 3 very shortly, which is the reverse grid.